All right, so here I am in the woods, um, digging a hole because we lost our first goat. So we have moved the goats to a new spot. I got a nice big area out here. They're enjoying laying out in the sun. We got some shade where I'm here too that they can lay in, and they're enjoying a little bit of grass. Um, go up the hill to the bushes up there and either get some more shade or eat some of the stuff that they really like to eat. But we have had a few of them, two and now three, that have had diarrhea the past few days, 2 or 3 days. Goats and sheep that are around 3 months old apparently are pretty susceptible to coccidia, um, which causes diarrhea, causes them to lose appetite, causes them to lose weight, and if it's unchecked and if their body can't deal with it, um, then you do end up with a goat that is either severely sick or possibly dead. So we are treating them with a coccidiostat right now, and hoping that that will take effect here in the next couple of days, and we won't see any more diarrhea. Also, hopefully, we won't see it show up in more goats. Theoretically, we should probably separate them from the group. They got a really large space here, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. If we don't feel like it's going very well, we may separate the ones that are sick, or if we start to see it continue, we may separate those and then move the ones that seem to be healthy onto the next section.
Good morning. This is Zipporah. I think if you saw the last video, you saw where we brought her onto the farm. She's been here for a little over a week now. Yeah, a little over a week now. And she's doing a really good job. In fact, we had an event last night that we'll talk about, or really early this morning, that we'll talk about for a few minutes. But she is about 5 months old, close to 5 months old, maybe between 5 and 6 months old. Hey, Zipporah. So she is a good girl. We're trying to get her used to everybody that's going to be out here without her becoming extremely attached to us, so that she realizes that she's not guarding us, that she's guarding the goats. But she's an Anatolian Shepherd. Anatolian Shepherds come out of Turkey, I believe. I don't know, you can look all that up. But she'll probably get somewhere between 90 and 100 pounds when she's full grown. And her big thing is to let everything around here know that she's here and that they're not supposed to come here because she's here. So what we have is she stays in with the goats all the time, and she gets out and she'll walk around the fence line and she'll walk through, and she's still a puppy, and she still, sleeps in the sun, and she still plays and all those kinds of things. But for the most part, she kind of lays around, a little bit separated from the goats usually. What we really want her to do, and what we know that she does sometimes, because the house is out that way a little ways, but we can hear her, is at night sometimes she'll bark, and she probably barks because she hears something moving around out there, smells something, or even sees something. um, and she barks to let them know she's here. This is her spot, and these are her goats. uh, so this morning, I came up at about 5:45, because usually when I hear her bark, I don't do anything. I know that she's just kind of staking her territory, letting things know that she's here. But she started barking, and the goats were all baying pretty loud. And she was barking hard, she was barking loud, and it was just different. It was a different bark. And so I jumped up and took off out here. And here, all the goats down here. So to set the scene, what I saw whenever I got up here was up. If you look up over the ridge, the fence line continues up there. So up there, one of the fence posts had been kind of pulled out and was laying down. And then Pora was standing about right here, and she was barking up that way where the fence line was. And the goats were all down on the other end down here. So they were running away from danger. Pora had run up to the danger spot and was barking to say, get out, get out, get out, get out, okay? And the fence did its job. I don't know what it was. It could have been that a deer came and ran through and hit the fence and spooked everybody, and Pora went up there to say, get away, not knowing what it was. Could have been a stray dog, it could have been a coyote, could have been a bear. I don't know. I can't find any real tracks or anything like that that would indicate one thing or another. It looks like something hit the fence and took off the other way, but when Zipporah realized what it was, or realized that there was something there and the goats were afraid, she immediately went up there and the goats went to the other side. That's exactly what we want to happen. We don't want her having to fight bears or coyotes or anything like that. We want the fence to do its job, and we want Zipporah to do her job. So Zipporah is doing a good job. And we try not to play a whole lot with her. We don't jump around and, make a big deal where we're getting her riled up, because what happens then is usually, okay, calm down, as I'm sitting here petting her. She'll end up getting excited and chase the goats. When I came out today and she was doing a good job, I went back and got a little bit of peanut butter and I gave it to her. I told her that's a good girl, and affirmed that good behavior as best I could. And then I left her here. And when I came back out an hour and a half later to give water to the goats and give her her breakfast this morning, she was laying out in the middle, just resting, and the goats were out, eating and doing their thing. So the fence is doing its job, Zipporah's doing her job, and we're just kind of trying to help.
All in fence. Oh. You can do it, Hannah. Just dig your fingers down into it and try and pick it up. There you go. Not much further. A couple of workers. So this goat right here, this is Debbie. Debbie has been struggling for a few days. Right now she's on vitamins, probiotics. She's been dewormed. We got through what I believe was coccidia. Need to clean her back end off again, but she doesn't seem to have any more diarrhea, but she's just not having a whole lot of appetite. So we have given her some vitamin B, which is supposed to help increase her appetite. She's been on that the last 3 days, but she's just very small. She's the same age as the white doe right there, but the coccidia really seemed to take it out of her. So she's eating a little bit, which is a good sign. She hasn't been doing that much recently, and we hope to be able to get her back on track. But she's our difficult case right now. Her name is Debbie, and then there's Hash Brown and Buttercup. Hash Brown is the all brown male, and then Butterscotch, excuse me, not Buttercup. Go on, Debbie, go be with your friends. I'm sure this is not real easy to see out here tonight, but Zipporah has not been a good girl today. She has gotten to chasing the goats, and not just chasing them, but biting their legs and even a couple of times around the neck. Not for the sake of injuring them, but because she is trying to play with them. So it's kind of late in the day and there's only so much I could do at this point. I've sat out here for an hour or so to try and correct the behavior, to stop it, at its onset. Every time she begins to kind of stalk a goat and get a goat in her sight, it seems to be the same couple. But anyways, the goats are fine. There's no punctures, there's no broken bones. I mean, she's just doing enough to get them kind of easily down on the ground. So anyways, this fence line goes on down for a good distance, and the goats are going to be in it for just a day on the pasture, just because I'm trying to move them down around the bend and into a little opening that's over there. But for tonight, just to deal with it, put her in here. I got to go down and get her some water, so she's just in a very small section of fence with the electric turned on. The goats will be fine. She'll bark if anything comes around, and the fence has 6,400 volts running through it right now, so we should be okay. All right, so here I am in the woods, digging a hole because we lost our first goat. Unfortunately, she got sick, and we worked every day for, I don't know, close to 10 days now to give her what she needed, kind of around the clock care, basically multiple times a day, making sure she had electrolytes, gave her vitamin B injections, and supplementing her with high fat, high sugar feeds to get her energy up, and try and get her rumen back working. But we were unsuccessful. So while we learned a lot, it's still a bit of a frustrating thing to see an animal that you're supposed to take care of not do well, and to see you try really hard and fail at it. But got to keep going and turn my attention to the other 16 goats that we still have. But anyways, here's what we're working on right now. And I'm not going to show a picture of Debbie, our goat that passed away, because that's not necessary. But anyways, we'll keep going. It's been a busy week, a busy 2 weeks, and hopefully we'll be able to learn from this, and the other 16 goats be really strong and grow, and not have the kind of health conditions we had with Debbie, who was always small from the beginning. But maybe we caught some of the things a little bit later than we should have. I don't know. Anyways, it's unfortunate, but we understood that this was part of farming whenever we started, and it's not a desire that we have, but we have to accept it as a reality.